physics-based arena fighter is a genre that has something of a bad reputation on PSVR, with Rage Room and Drunkn bar fight leading the charge, but neither one delivering anything close to what I'd consider a full gameplay experience. And that was my concern leading up to the launch of Gorn, a goofy gladiator simulator that puts ragdoll physics at the very top of its list of bullet points. I wondered, could it end up being more than just a glorified tech demo? Well, after spending close to 8 hours with it, I can confirm that although the gameplay isn't going to win any awards for its depth or originality, it absolutely nails the fun factor, making Gorn a total blast to play. So what makes Gorn different than the other physics-based arena fighters? First, the cartoon aesthetic is pretty great. It makes the over-the-top blood, guts, and gore far more appealing as you rip out hearts, pummel your opponents, and tear off their heads Stretch Armstrong style. And luckily, these guys are not overachievers. They stumble around like toddlers, falling over and hitting themselves in the face with their own weapons, so taking on one at a time generally isn't an issue. Blocking and parrying works great if you decide to go toe-to-toe, but even if you just attack and retreat, you can get some decent results. It's when you get surrounded that things start to go south, so keep an eye out around you at all times, because getting hit just once means you'll start to bleed out, and the only way to save yourself is to kill someone else before the screen turns red. This is my least favorite part of Gorn, because it often leaves you in some very frustrating situations. Something else that should have been frustrating was the movement system. To get around the arena, you have to swing your arms like a gorilla, holding and alternating the move button as you go, to essentially pull the world toward you in different directions. I do wish there was an alternative for when I got tired, but this does put Gorn up there with Sprint Vector as a great workout, especially when swinging giant hammers and buster swords at your enemies. Since they flop around like big rubbery noodles, using them effectively means that just waggling the move controllers isn't an option. Instead, it takes big, deliberate movements. And it's not just the big weapons that'll get your heart rate up. Even wielding a variety of smaller clubs, swords, or my personal favorite, Wolverine claws, will have sweat pouring down your face as you pummel other gladiators into submission. I've been playing Gorn all week, and I'm officially sore from head to toe. But listen, even though I really enjoy Gorn's basic fighting mechanics, ridiculous gore, and silly physics, there are still some problems that shouldn't be ignored. First, the game is insistent on showing a mandatory blue grid that appears anytime you're even remotely close to the edge of the PlayStation camera's tracking limits. And because there's no grab assist or crouch button, two things that Gorn could certainly use, you'll see it far more than necessary. Also, after a few battles, you may start to notice a distinct lack of variety. There's only a few arenas and only a few enemy types. There's not even a soundtrack to accompany the fights. Hearing the clanging of weapons and laughs from the audience gets old fast, so if you're like me, you may end up putting on your own music to fill the void. I mean, wouldn't this be so much better? And finally, clocking in at around 2 hours or so, the campaign is pretty short, but you're unlocking weapons the whole time. And once you head down to the basement, all of those weapons are available in the custom mode, where you can change everything from the size of your character to the gravity in the arena. Gorn's big rubbery weapons and simple gameplay might put off some gamers, and even though I wish there were more arenas with more variety, bashing hundreds of gladiators and coating the walls red with blood is a great form of stress relief and exercise, both of which are needed now more than ever. A patch or two could certainly make Gorn a bit more accessible, but even as is, I'm having a blast.
You're still in one piece. Hard to say for the rest of them. Raise your weapon and salute the crowd.